thing I was dreading the most to never happen with the S14. It's finally happened. The gas tank's leaking. I have the siphon, 8 feet. It's more than enough to empty out the entire gas tank. This brand's really good, the design's really good. I'll show you guys in a second once we open it up, but first things first, let me pop this trunk. Super simple trunk setup. I mean, this thing's ready for a fuel cell. I've seen people just place them in the trunk and run it that way. To place it in the trunk, you have to have a tube rear end because if you get hit from the back with a fuel cell, it's extremely dangerous. You should have some type of shield to block off and completely separate your fuel cell from the actual cabin. All I want to do is just replace this in the most cost-effective way possible. And I don't want to go overboard. It's a stock SR, but whatever works, works. And that's what we got to figure out. But the first thing we have to do is take out the fuel tank. So, all right, there's 4 bolts. I'm going to pop those all off. Here's our siphon kit. I got it off of Amazon. It's called Siphon Pro. Drained out all the fuel. Next time we work on the car, we're going to be jacking it up, getting ready to put it on 4 jack stands because in order to drop the gas tank, you have to drop the entire rear subframe, you have to take out the drive shaft, a bunch of stuff. It's a very big job, so. Okay, I got the car on 4 jack stands. I'm going to take off the back wheels, and I think I have to take off the exhaust, the drive shaft, and a bunch of other stuff, so I'm just going to go through and just start taking off what I can take off until it looks like I can drop the subframe, so.
Inmate, state your name.
I just did the same thing I did on this side, which is what you guys watched me do on the other side. Took the caliper off, disconnected the handbrake cable from the caliper, disconnected the coilover from the rear knuckle. I did the same thing on this side. Took everything off the way it was, hung it, took over the coilover. I was planning on having a second hand help me out to drop the subframe, but I think I'm just gonna drop it myself. I saw someone on YouTube drop it themselves, and they even had the car on only rear jack stands, which means it was at an angle and they still were able to do it. To drop the subframe, it's gonna be a couple bolts, and then I think there's a vent tube on top of the diff that I'm gonna have to use some pliers to take off and release. So I'm gonna grab these and needle nose. We're gonna need impact sockets. We're gonna need our gun. That hose right there on top of the diff is the vent for the diff. Disconnected that. Oh my god, I did it. I did it, guys. Oh my god. Dude. Subframe dropped out. Sorry for the light, I know. Oh man, that was much easier than I thought it would be, man. This is the day that the entire video has been leading up to. We're gonna be dropping the gas tank out the car. Okay, so firstly, I have to get my jack off of the subframe because I have to use the jack to drop the gas tank. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to sweep for sure. Okay, so I decided I'm just gonna take the drive shaft all the way out. The gas tank is held up with two straps. The two straps have a hinge on one side and a 17 mil bolt on the other. Zip those two off. There's one 10 mil that's on the right side strap, the driver's side. Pop that off, and then I can use the jack and start to lower it down. The fuel tank's out, and I already found the crack. So this side, where the crack almost always happens, the strap goes right here, and guess where the crack is? Right along where the edge of the strap would sit. So obviously that's a manufacturer's defect. So there's that crack going all the way up here, and then there's another crack, a small one right here. This seam right here looks like it's splitting. There's still fuel in it. I'm gonna grab this siphon. Here's the pump. Let's get the rest of the gas out. All right, so I may or may not have a solution to the gas tank, meaning that the car might be up and running again within the next 1 to 2 weeks. Now, I'm not gonna make any promises, obviously, because I don't know 100% for sure, but the outcome is looking really good. So if you're not subscribed and you want to see more of the build, make sure you hit subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Let's van off.